All right, so I'm going to do an example from each one. I'm going to do two synthetic though, since there's only one section on it, okay? So these are the 4 sections you're going to be doing today in Delta Math. All right, so let's first do, we're going to do 2 synthetic, okay? So let's do this one. We're going to screen snippet. All right, so this is synthetic division, all right? So, okay. Is it recording? Okay, so here we go. So first thing you do, no, don't do that. Let's not do that. There we go. All right, so the first thing you do is you get your 0. This is my 0. You need to change that sign. Let me change this color to a darker color. So we're going to put a -3 in the box, okay, in the house. Then you count your exponents. Make sure they count down in order. Well, if you look at this one, it goes from 4 to 2. So I'm actually missing the cubic term, okay? And then it goes 2, 1, 0. So I'm only missing the cubic term. So let's rewrite this with the cubic term as a placeholder. So we're going to say 2x to the 4th plus 0x cubed minus 19x squared minus 5x minus 6, okay? Then you're going to write your coefficients in order, even the 0. So we're going to say 2, 0, -19, -5, and -6, okay? Drop down the 2, then start your multiplication process, okay? So I'm going to say -3 times 2 and get -6. Then we add. 0 plus -6 is -6. Then we're going to do it again. And I'm going to say -3 times -6. That's going to give me a positive 18. Add. That gives me a -1. We're going to do it again, okay? So -3 times -1 is positive 3. Add. -5 plus 3 is -2. Then we're going to do it one more time. And we're going to say -3 times -2, and that gives me a positive 6. So my remainder is 0. Okay? Now, you started with a to the 4th, so you're going to end with a cube. So my answer will be 2x cubed minus 6x squared minus 1x minus 2. And there's no remainder, so that would be my answer. Okay? All right, let's do another one. All right, and you can see that it's the solution. I'll show you the solution. And that's what we got, okay? So let's do another problem. All right. So we're going to snip it. All right, so if you look at this one, you got to take your 0, change the sign. So positive 2 goes in the house. Count your exponents. 3, 2, 1, 0. This one doesn't skip anything, so we don't need a placeholder. So we're going to write the coefficients. 3, -6. See how I brought the subtraction down with it? Then 4, then 2. Draw your line. Drop the first term down. Then start the multiplication process. We're going to say 2 times 3 and get 6. Add. That gives me 0. Do it again. 2 times 0 is 0. Add. That gives me a 4. We're going to do it one more time because we have one more number left. And we're going to say 2 times 4 gives me 8. Add. That gives me 10. Always box that last number in because it is a remainder, not a coefficient. Okay? You started with a cube, so you're going to end one less than that, which is a squared. So I'm going to say, these are your coefficients. So I'm going to say 3x squared plus 0x plus 4. Do I need this 0x? You don't. So my true answer is 3x squared plus 4. Now we have a remainder of 10. So you always add your remainder at the end. So we're going to say plus 10 over your factor or your divisor. And that's your answer. Okay? All right. So now let's do some long division ones. Okay? So I'm going to do one of each from the long division. Okay? Trying to get this to exit. All right. So now let's do long division level 2. Okay? So I'm going to screenshot it. So long division is what we learned yesterday. And long division you use when your divisor is not linear, okay? But you can use it for everything. It's just synthetic is only for linear divisors, okay? All right, so we're going to set this up. Now you keep your variables in this one, okay? You keep your variables. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to have enough room. Now, I think we'll have enough room. So this guy goes on the outside of the house. Okay. Now, you've got to figure out, did you skip an exponent? 3, 2, 1, 0. We're good. So we're going to write that underneath the house. 3x cubed plus 22x squared minus 7x minus 6. Okay? Now, you have to figure out what times 3x gives you 3x cubed. Okay? That is what you're doing. You're saying, what times 3x gives me 3x cubed. Let's do a darker green. Okay? Well, I've got the 3, right? So I know 1 times 3 is 3, so I need to leave that alone. But I only have 1x and I need 3 x's, so this is going to be x squared. So we're going to say x squared goes there. Then you're going to multiply. X squared times 3x is 3x cubed. X squared times negative 2 is negative 2x squared. All right, draw your line. Change your signs. This goes to negative. Let's change our color. This goes to negative. That goes to positive. This cancels. 22 plus 2 is 24. Drop the x squareds down. Bring down the next guy, negative 7x. So now you're trying to figure out what times 3x gives me 24x squared. Well, what times 3 gives you 24? 8. And then what times x gives you x squared? X. So we're going to put plus 8x. Okay? All right, distribute. 8x times 3x is 24x squared. 8x times 2 is negative 16x. Draw your line. Now we need to change our signs. Okay? So this goes to negative and that goes to positive. This one cancels. Negative 7 plus 16 is a plus 9x. Drop down that last number, which is negative 6. Okay, I'm going to run out of room. So now you got to ask yourself, what times 3x gives you 9x? Well, the x's are fine, but what times 3 gives you 9? 3. So we're going to put a plus 3 here. Distribute. 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Draw your line. Now we need to change the signs. So this goes to negative, this goes to positive. Well, that cancels out, and so does that. So we have a remainder of 0. So your answer is just what on top. So my answer is x squared plus 8x plus 3. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next level. And guys, you can always put show solution or show example, and it'll show you exactly what I just did. Okay? All right. Level 4. All right. This one's going to kick it up a notch. I'm trying to get enough room. There we go. That'll be a good screenshot. All right. So here we go. This is what you're dividing by. So he goes on the outside. So I'm going to put 4x squared plus x plus 2. Now this can't be missing any terms either. Okay. I've been kind of slacking on saying that. But it doesn't. So it goes 2, 1, 0. So we're good. Now what goes under here is this. Count your exponents. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we're good. Put it underneath the house. 4x to the 4th plus 21x cubed minus 25x squared plus 2x minus 16. Okay? All right. So you're asking yourself, what times 4x squared gives me 4x to the 4th? Well, I know 1 times 4 gives me 4, okay? What times x squared gives me x to the 4th? X squared. So it's just going to be x squared, okay? Distribute. X squared times 4x squared is 4x to the 4th. X squared times x is x cubed. And then x squared times 2 is 2x squared, okay? Draw the line. Now we're going to change those signs. Negative, negative, negative. Okay? This cancels. 21 minus 1 is 20x cubed. Negative 25 minus 2 is negative 27x squared. and drop down the next term, which is a plus 2x. Okay? So now you're asking yourself, what times 4x squared gives me 20x cubed? Well, what times 4 gives me 20? 5. What times x squared gives me x cubed? X. So we're going to put a plus 5x squared. Plus 5x. Lord. Distribute it. I'm going to say 5x times 4x squared, and I get 20x cubed. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 2 is 10x. Draw the line. Change your signs. So this goes to a negative, this goes to a negative, and that goes to a negative. Okay? This cancels. Negative 27 minus 5 is going to be negative 32x squared. 2 minus 10 is negative, that's supposed to be negative 32x squared. And then that's going to be a negative 8x. Drop down the last guy, which is negative 16. So one last time, you're asking yourself, what times 4x squared gives me negative 32x squared? Well, that's going to be negative 8. So we're going to put a minus 8. Distribute him. Negative 8 times 4x squared. Negative 32x squared. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. Draw your line. Change your signs. So we're going to change. I'm trying to find a dark enough color to write over things. We'll do red. So that goes to positive. That goes to positive. That goes to positive. So that cancels, and that cancels. So I have another remainder of 0. So your answer is just what's up top. X squared plus 5x minus 8. Okay? And if we went back, it would show us that I am correct. Okay? All right. Exit. Now let's do one more from level 5. Okay? All right. Let's slide that over as much as we can. Slide it up to get enough white space for us to do our work. We're going to take a screen snip. All right. So make sure what you're dividing by doesn't skip anything. Well, it's just an x plus 6. So we're going to put x plus 6 on the outside. Underneath goes the polynomial. There's probably a harder one. We'll do a harder one in a minute. 3, 2, 1, 0. We're good. So x cubed plus 6x squared minus 4x minus 25. So you're asking yourself, what times x gives me x cubed? Well, that's going to be x squared. Distribute. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 6 is 6x squared. Draw your line. We're going to change our signs. This goes to negative. This goes to negative. Well, they both cancel. So I'm going to have a 0x squared. You still got to write it. Okay? A 0x squared. Then bring down your next term, which is minus 4x. Okay? All right. So now you're asking yourself, what times x gives me 0x squared? Well, that's just going to be a 0x. Okay? Because you got to get 0, you have to multiply by 0. So that's going to be a plus 0x. Distribute. Well, when you distribute that, that's just going to be 0x squared. And then it's going to be plus 0x. Okay? All right. Change the signs. Let's go to a green. That goes to negative. That goes to negative. It really don't matter because they're 0. Okay? So this cancels out. Negative 4 plus that is going to be negative 4x. Drop down that last guy of minus 25. Okay? So, you're asking yourself, what times x gives me negative 4x? Well, negative 4. So, we're going to minus negative 4. Distribute. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 6 is going to be negative 24. Draw your line. Let's change our signs. That goes to positive. That goes to positive. So that's going to be a remainder of negative 1. So we have a remainder. Now remember, we don't have to write 0x. So the answer is just x squared minus 4 plus your remainder on top of your divisor. And that's your answer. Okay? All right. So that's it for this Delta Math Help video. But if you need some more, just send me the problem and I can help you out with it. Okay, guys?